My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need! And I hope you enjoy the video.
Man, I hope you suckers are saving up for next year. That's what I got out of E3 2019 this year. Like, that was the subliminal message behind all the stuff that we seen at this year's E3. Y'all suckers better get y'all wallets ready, cause we about to take all your money next year, bro. That was the message that I left E3 2019 with, bro. Cause 2020 is going to be absolutely insane, bro. And you know how a lot of people felt like this year's E3 was trash, and it kind of was. Well, I don't want to say this E3 was completely trash. I still did somewhat still enjoy it, but this was definitely one of the most lackluster E3, you know, in recent, you know, times. And you could kind of figure it was going to be that the second Sony announced that they weren't going to participate in this year's E3. You really had some people though trying to deny that fact. Like, who cares? So, you know, Sony's not at E3. That's not going to affect the show. We still got Microsoft, we still got Nintendo, EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Square. Like, who cares about Sony? Alright, sucker. Let's say Sony was at E3 this year. I personally don't even feel like they would have made that much of a difference if we being real about it. Because what could they really show off? Like, they have 3 games that we know about that are still not out yet, you know. I mean, could they show more Death Stranding? Ghost of Tsushima, that would be cool. Of course, Last of Us 2, which we really want. They talk about PlayStation 5, but why would they want to? I would imagine that they would do that at PSX this year, if they're going to have a PSX this year, you know. So, I mean, like, what could Sony, if they were at E3 this year, like, what really could they talk about? What would they bring to the table? So even if Sony was at E3 this year, I don't really feel like it would have made a big of a difference, you know, because you had people making jokes, like, especially during Microsoft's conference, like, Sony must be back at home, like, going back to 2020. Next year is going to be insane. I feel like 2020 is going to be a complete reenactment of 2013. How you got so many, because if you remember 2013, you literally had games dropping it seemed like it was dropping every week. Something was dropping. It may not have been a AAA title, but something was dropping. We got BioShock Infinite that year. We got freaking Last of Us that year. We got freaking Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, we got so many games that year. That year I was working at Target and I was trying to get more hours. I was trying to get more hours working at Target because I couldn't afford all the games that was coming out, bro. Chuck was crazy. I feel like that's how 2020 is going to be like. So we need to start saving now because it's looking real crazy. Let me go over just a couple of games. Just a few. I ain't going to name them all because it's going to take too long. 2020 games that we got coming, man. Good God. Our wallets. Let's begin, shall we? Can I interest you in, I don't know, Cyberpunk 2077? That's probably a lot of people's most anticipated game next year, or at least like top 5, top 3. I feel like the game had hype already from the trailers and gameplay we've seen. The fact that it's CD Projekt Red doing it, you know, off of their last work with the Witcher 3. I wasn't the biggest Witcher 3 fan really at all. You know, I literally picked up the Witcher 3 like 6 or 7 times trying to play the game, and I dropped it every single time. Every single time. And it wasn't like I was like bored with the game. It was, I don't know if other games just kept on taking my attention away from it. For some reason, I just could not get into The Witcher. But it seems like CD Projekt Red, for a lot of people, is currently like one of like the top devs in the game. And I'm asking this question because I don't know. What other, has CD Projekt Red done anything else outside of the Witcher series? Like, what else have they done? I personally don't know, but it seems like all of the praise that they get is all based off of what they did with The Witcher 3. Going back to Cyberpunk, you know, all the hype that the game already had to begin with. Now you add in Mr. John Wick over here, Mr. Keanu Reeves, having him in the game. I'm sure that increased people's hype even more so that he's in the game, and it was cool to see that. I'm definitely getting Cyberpunk, man. You know, from what I've seen of the game so far, it looks like it's going to be a freaking huge game. Can't wait to see what they do with it. You know, the trailers and gameplay have looked good so far. I'm definitely getting that junk. And it comes out April 16th, 2020. So it comes out early 2020, man. So you got Cyberpunk 2077, Dying Light 2. That junk got the 2020 stamp as well. That's spring 2020. I was kind of shocked, but at the same time not, because it was like, Dying Light 2 got revealed at last year's E3. And if you remember, like, since it was revealed, it wasn't getting no new news, no details, no new gameplay footage, no nothing. So I started to think, is this junk even coming out this year? Like, how come we're not seeing nothing about it? It's not coming out this year. It's not coming out this year. If you loved the first Dying Light, if you played the first Dying Light, then you would, you know, kind of know why Dying Light 2 is such a big thing. The Avengers game. Listen, from what I saw of the game, that was enough for me to be really interested in this game. You have to understand, we didn't even really know what to expect from this game to begin with. All we knew that there was a Avengers game coming, and Square Enix, you know, was behind it. But we didn't really know what to expect, like how it was going to be, like stuff like that. Like, I had little to no expectations because I didn't really, like, again, know what to expect. So when they showed what they did, even though, yeah, it was mostly trailers, but I still think if you rewatch the reveal, you could see at certain points for like 3 or 4 seconds, but hell, that was a lot this year's, because most of this year's E3 was nothing but CGI trailers. So hell, 3 to 4 seconds of gameplay, I'll take it. You know, so you could see, like, in that trailer, at certain points, it looked like it went to gameplay with the Hulk, with Iron Man, with Thor, mainly those 3. And I was liking what I was seeing, bro. I was like, I was actually blown away because I didn't know what to expect from this game. So I was like, okay, I'm into this game. So that's definitely one of, you know, that comes out next year in 2020. And with that game, like, you have some people hyped for that game, but some people are kind of like on the fence about it. I've seen so many people like already just critique this game from head to toe, bro. Like, I'm just like, sucker, they just revealed this game. It actually looks somewhat good and somewhat intriguing. And here you have suckers just already stripping this game naked. It's just, I just find it weird how much people will complain about a game that just got revealed, only to say at the end of the sentence, but I'm still getting it day one. Anyways, you know, so you got that, the Avengers game, Ghost of Tsushima. I just spit all over Ghost of Tsushima. You got, I have to be real. Me personally, I'm not really like all that excited about the game. I probably will get it when it comes out, but honestly, so far, the best thing, in my opinion, that Ghost of Tsushima has going for it is how great the game looks. Like, the graphics in that game look amazing. That looked like one of those games every 5 minutes you like trying to take screenshots, you know, and just look and putting down your controller and just looking at the freaking game because of how pretty it looks. The game looks freaking amazing, but I need to see more than, you know, what they've shown so far, because that reveal of Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, it had gameplay, But I just, it didn't really do much for me. I need to see more of that game. Tales of Arise. This was actually one of the games that caught me completely off guard. Because I remember when the trailer first started, I was like, what is this trash? Like I always do for like every game. But as the trailer kept going, I was like, hey, hold on. This actually kind of, hey, hold on. This doesn't look lit. And Tales of Arise, man, that might be in my most anticipated games for next year. Tales of Arise completely caught me off guard, but that junk looked amazing. If y'all don't remember what game I'm talking about, look up that trailer. Tales of Arise, definitely, I'm getting that junk. That's a 2020 game as well. Watch Dogs. Good old Watch Dogs, man. Good old Watch Dogs. Sucker, you got grandma hackers in this junk. Freaking grandma assassins. It's like, and the junk was actually looking like fun and stuff. And I like how you can, if one of the players that you're playing as dies, you just go to like the next character and stuff like that. You can play with multiple characters in this game. I think this game takes place in London, and you can recruit people to your team. So there's like a lot of stuff that I've seen that they're doing in this game. I'm like, okay, Watch Dogs Legion, I see you, son. And I've seen a lot of people saying, yo, Watch Dogs Legion was actually one of my favorite games at this year's E3. So that comes out in 2020. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm not even a Final Fantasy fan like that. I never was. I probably never will be, because there's too many Final Fantasies to play. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, you would be a fool to say that this wasn't one of the best games at this year's E3. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that junk looked amazing. The more and more I see of this game, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to get this junk. That junk looks amazing, man. I've always heard that Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy out of all of them. Ghostwire Tokyo. I think this was at Bethesda's trash behind. I'm really starting to dread Bethesda conferences, because it just seems like their conference, not only does it start late, but it starts late, and then they always start off their freaking conference with freaking Fallout. Get that piece of overrated garbage out of my face, bro. I was literally like, no, they are not starting off with Fallout 76 at this conference, bro. I could not believe it. But when they got to Ghostwire Tokyo, I was like, that actually intrigued me, with how they were describing the game and stuff like that. They didn't really show too much about it, but that comes out in 2020 as well. Gods and Monsters, that was kind of that game that it kind of looks like Zelda, but better. So I'm definitely going to get that, because Zelda has never been a good franchise. I'm kidding. Ori Will of the freaking Wisp. I still didn't even play Ori and the Blind Forest. I've been meaning to play that game, but I never did. Ori Will of the Wisp looks amazing, bro. That gameplay that they were showing, I was like, holy cack, this junk looks great. Ori Will of the Wisp definitely looks like a game that I need to play that junk. I definitely have to play that junk, because that looks like a game that I would like really enjoy playing. Halo Infinite. and I'm gonna end it right here, because again, I don't want this to be too long. But Halo Infinite, I could say Beyond Good and Evil too, because I don't think that's going to come out this year, because they're literally not showing nothing about this game. There's been nothing but CGI trailers for that game. But I can name more. But let me just end it off on Halo Infinite. That will be a Xbox Scarlet launch title, which I think is huge, because Xbox hasn't had Halo be a launch game since the OG Xbox. And here is one reason why when people call me, because I'm actually called a Sony fanboy quite a lot, and it's disgusting, but it's actually disgusting. No matter how much this franchise has fallen off, I still get excited when a new Halo's announced. No other game really does that to me, bro. I don't know how people could call me a fanboy. I really don't. Here I am, about to buy my 4th consecutive Xbox for literally the same exact game 4 generations straight. Bought the first Xbox for Halo. Bought Xbox 360, of course, for Halo. Bought Xbox One for Halo 5 because I thought it was actually going to be good. And now I'm about to buy the Scarlets, which let's move on to the Scarlet because that also comes out in 2020. Holiday 2020 is when the Xbox Scarlet, whatever that's going to be called, but that's the code name right now. That and Halo Infinite will be a package deal because you know most likely they're going to do a bundle for that junk. That comes out holiday 2020. I can never be called a Sony fanboy because probably no one else has bought a Xbox as many times as I've had for one game. Don't ever call me a Sony fanboy again in your life, niggas. You have no idea what I've done for Xbox throughout the years, okay? But outside of that, again, those are just a few of the 2020 games that we got to look forward to. Cyberpunk, Dying Light 2, the Avengers game, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Elden Ring, Tales of Arise, Watch Dogs Legion, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghostwire Tokyo, Gods and Monsters, Ori Will of the Wisp, Halo Infinite, got the new Xbox coming, most likely got the new PlayStation coming. 2020, I cannot stress enough. 2020 is going to be exactly like 2013 was. Hell, it might be worse as far as like more and more games dropping and us spending more and more money on these games trying to keep up with all of these games dropping. So yeah, man, what are y'all like top 5 games that you guys have on your list for next year with all of the games that we have just found out are going to come out in 2020? There's a lot of games to choose from. What are like y'all top 5 lists? It doesn't have to be in order, but what are the games that y'all got on that y'all have on y'all eye for next year and stuff like that? Leave all your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, my brothers and sisters, I will catch y'all on my next video. All right, peace.